Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Wanted to talk about the intent to file, your claim, effective dates, rating schedule changes, and really dive into what's really protected. I feel like we've missed some really important opportunities to really hone in. Sometimes it's suggestions mixed with reality, and then there's this kind of blurry spot in the middle. So let's dive through it. Everything is so nuanced in the VA that sometimes messaging might get a little skewed. So I want to bring some clarification here with regard to your effective dates and protections, specifically when it comes to rating schedule changes. Before we jump into it, I want to throw on a special thank you out there to Terry Hugh 57. Thank you so much for the super comment, super chat. I really do appreciate your support very, very much. Thank you, Terry Hugh. All right, so jumping into this, where we're going to start is the M21. This is essentially the rule book for VA on how to handle really anything with regard to your claim. So in here, I'm scrolling down to the specific area where we have rating schedule changes and what the VA should do in the event that they have a claim that crosses the barrier. So let's dive into that. So I have it pulled up here, and remember that we do have rating schedule changes coming down from the VA. We're just not sure exactly when they're going to get implemented. Our guess at this point is, maybe October. We haven't seen any official announcements from the VA. There are 4 rating schedules that are really kind of in the works right now to be changed. It's auditory, respiratory, neurological, and mental health. Those are the 4 rating schedules that are being updated, revised, what have you. So here in the M21, it says, use the table below to handle scheduler revisions. So if a claim is referred to a rating activity after a revision to the disability rating schedule, so revising the rating schedule, which is what we're actually doing, it then says, consider both the old and new criteria if the claim was received prior to the effective date of the rating schedule revision, or the new criteria only if the claim was received on or after the effective date of the revision. Now, this is important because the VA does not recognize an intent to file as a claim. It's a placeholder for your potential earliest effective date. So if you just take it kind of verbatim and just word for word, you are not receiving, the VA is not receiving a claim until they actually get your claim. So when we talk about filing your intent to file and going through the process, a lot of times what we're talking about here is 2 versions. One version is if you've never filed a claim with the VA before, it's always a good practice to file your intent to file because you could potentially be missing out on back pay. It's always good to have that place marker in there. With regard to filing an intent to file with the idea of protecting yourself through the rating schedule change, you would want to make sure that you file your claim prior to the change going into effect. Now, if we look at the the digestive system rating schedule change that happened last year, we got a 60-day notice from the VA. VA said, hey, we are making this change and it's going to be finalized in 60 days. Here's the new date for finalization. As soon as you get that notice, you need to be really finalizing your claim and getting it filed before that change takes effect. Now, here's the beauty of it, and this is the nuanced part that many people don't think about, and quite frankly, even folks in this business don't quite talk about. Even if you do not have all of your ducks in a row, even if you do not have all of the evidence you need to file your claim, file your claim. File the form anyway. File your 526EZ regardless, with whatever claimed conditions you have, right? Auditory, respiratory, neurological, mental health, whatever they are. And now your claim is filed prior to the rating schedule taking effect. You've now filed a claim, which then, according to the M21, both the old and new criteria should be considered if the claim was received prior to the effective date of the rating schedule revision. So they're going to weigh you against both rating schedules and give you the more favorable of the two. Now, here's the problem. It's not really a problem, but here's the process at this point. You did not supply all the information that you needed for a successful claim, but you filed your claim, and that's what matters. Now the VA is going to go, well, we don't have enough, and they're going to deny you. That's okay, because now you have 365 days to file a supplemental claim with the evidence that you were missing. So I hope everybody's tracking with that, because this is the nuanced aspects of VA that you're not going to find on AI. You're not going to find in a lot of, I don't know, armchair suggestions. This is very important. Your claim is the most important thing in your life, is kind of what should be happening here, because it is so life-changing, especially as you get into the higher levels of compensation. Look, if you are in need of help with your VA claim, number one, try to find an accredited representative who's capable and competent. It's nice to have that second set of eyes and a peek into the VBMS. I was an accredited veteran service officer, and I understand the value there. Now, look, if you can't find a capable and competent representation, then consider evidence-based VA claims. This is an organization, company that I created with Clay over at the CivDiv to help you through the process. It's former VA raters. It's a trainer, a VA rating trainer, formally. Accredited representatives who had been accredited in the past. So all of these people here are here to help you. Now, I wanted to read a little bit more on this aspect of intent to files versus claims and all of that. So the question is really, is the intent to file considered a claim? No, an intent to file does not automatically count as a claim date for a VA disability. It's two different things. Your claim date, your intent to file date, it gives you your potential to further back pay. So an intent to file, and I got this written down so I can share it with you appropriately. While an intent to file does establish a potential effective date for benefits, it can allow for retroactive payments. It is not itself a formal claim. The actual claim date is the date the formal claim is submitted to the VA. Now, this is important. Again, you can file a claim with garbage evidence, right? Without enough evidence to get it approved. And that's okay. You have filed a formal claim. You just didn't supply the evidence needed, which is fine because you've now submitted that claim. Very, very important. Moving on, the intent to file is essentially the notification to the VA, right, that you plan to file that claim. It's a placeholder for an earliest effective date in most situations, and you'll have that 365 days in order to file your claim and utilize that as the date. The claim date is the date you actually filed your claim. So there's a distinction there, and I think that that's really important. The other thing that I wanted to throw out to you is the idea of, well, what if the rating schedule doesn't change? What we don't want people doing is just sitting on their hands, not moving forward. Let's, for example, say a mental health claim that they don't already have a rating for. They know they want to file for a mental health claim, right? If you want to file for a mental health claim, don't just sit on your hands waiting for the rating schedule to change. There's nobody that knows exactly when it's going to go into effect. We're waiting. So you should file an intent to file, start working on your claim. Once you have all your evidence, file your claim, for your mental health condition. One, you can start getting, appropriate treatment, and two, you get your rating, and that's good too. Then, whenever, could be a year from now, who knows? Whenever that rating schedule changes, if it appears to be advantageous for you to file for an increase, then you can. What we don't want to do is just sit around and wait to file your claim, right? Waiting for a rating schedule change that we don't know when it's going to happen, and meanwhile, you're missing out on compensation. File the intent to file, start gathering your evidence. If the rating schedule is coming into play, then file your claim, right? Prior to it. So with that, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you very much. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.